but it seems like there's more younger people. I don't know. I don't really be out here like that. I'm only out here because, as I mentioned before, my phone and my Mac were broken. And I was thinking, I got first world problems. I don't know if we say first world, third world, first. Like, oh my gosh, my Mac the data's deleted. I mean, that does suck, but I did back that up. Or at least the important stuff, all the whatever I was working on is gone. And then my phone, they had to delete everything to restart it. So that means all my beautiful sunsets I caught, which are like priceless, gone. Random things I seen, gone. That kind of hurts. And then, I got an Apple Watch and I was linked or paired with the phone, and the only way to make that work was to reset that too. And at first I thought, yeah, whatever, but again, first world problems. I'm tracking my sleep, and all the data was on my phone, and all that's gone. It hurts. But then, got to put everything in perspective. It could be worse. I could have lost a leg or some shit. Be hobbling around. That would be really worse. So, yeah. But yeah. Actually, I was at work, and this guy came up. He said, "You're rhyming gaijin," and I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "I used to watch you." And I'm like, "Cool. What's your name?" And it's surreal, man. Like, people know me, but other people don't know me. Like, I can't walk into a club and be standing there when I get to the front of the lines like, "Is that you rhyming?" And I'll be like, "Yeah." He's like, "I watched you when I was a young bodybuilder." And I'll be like, "Oh, that's what's up." He's like, "These people with you?" And I'll be like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Y'all go in, go VIP, drinks on the house." "You still drink Sprite?" Like, "Nah, I moved up to cranberry." He's like, "Yeah, cran," because he knows all that shit. Sitting up there in VIP, and the owner comes over and he's like, "Yo, I heard that you in the building." Then the DJ's like, "Rhyme is in the building." Then they're all like, "Nah, I'm gonna do fantasy land," but that's when people know you. That's like, now that comes with its own thing too. Because you get the rest of it. I might get John Lennon. I'm quite radical in my thoughts these days. But yeah. But depend on your religious level, but they say you never get more than you can handle. And I don't think I could handle mobs of people mobbing me in the street. I love that hat. You see that hat? The Russian hat? I know it would look good on me, but it's not my thing. Looking like a czar. But anyway. So yeah. I don't think I'm at that level where I could handle people doing that, because I don't like attention like that. I don't like that at all. I'm awkward. But I wouldn't like Cobain myself. 'Cause I don't know, maybe I would. Because I don't like when people twist what I do and change it into... Anyway. So back in the day, there used to be a condom shop right over there. But right now, Japan's in this like super renovating for the 2020, and it had to go. I remember going in there once, and I was looking at some Magnums, 5,000 yen. That's about $50. About 12 in a pack. $50, 12 in a pack. Can't do the math that quick, but everyone counts. Sometimes everyone got to count. But yeah, now it's gone. And Amazon ships them now, still overpriced, but it's better than using the ones they be selling with the horse on it, Bo Jackman looking shits. Speaking of. So I kind of feel I'm late to everything, because You know, I watch shit when I watch it. I find out about shit when I find out about shit. And why don't we go this way? Actually, you know, I really can't, but I'm gonna do this. Cause I wanna make a nice video with the cleanest audio, so I have to get off the street. But I gotta do my challenge, you know, my freestyle until the clock strikes 12. But we'll make this quick. Plus I'm moving, it's not like I'm posted up. But yeah, so in BoJack, he was famous, and then time passes, and he's dealing with not being famous. Now, as I mentioned, I never was famous, but, you know, I deal with that. I never went this way. Looking all nice, we got Timex shots and all that shit. But yeah, so I watched it. I watched the whole thing. I binged on it. I'm all over the place, but you know, I told you, I'm rambling. And those who are happy to hear me ramble, I will ramble a little more. But time. I had this conversation with a guy, and he's like, you know, I don't really have time like that, blase, blase, blase. And I'm like, you make time. He said, you can't make time. Time is, well, time is time. It just goes. But no, you make time. How do you make time? Well, you just gotta, I don't know, you gotta do what you gotta do. For example, I purposely choose to work an hour and a half from my house. Mostly because back in the day when I was working, the students would like follow me, because usually they live about a half an hour from the school, walking distance. So we end up walking in the same direction. And I'm like, and one time I'm on a bike and they're like, just follow me. And I had to like detour and all that shit. Then if you live like in like the hub where the movie theater is or whatever, you'd be chilling in there. Like I was in a Mac one day, McDonald's. And here comes him. It was a little Philippine boy with his little Philippine sister who was hot. And what am I supposed to do? Yo, tell your sister I said what's up. Can't do that. It's just weird, and her mom was there and all that. So I try to avoid all that by not living close. So yeah, so I live far away, and I got like an hour to do shit on the train. I could sleep, I could text, I could do anything. One thing I hated doing back in the day, people would hit me up while I'm on the train in the morning. Hey man, what you doing? Going to work. Nothing constructive, nothing productive. And I get mad about that, because that was my time to get shit done. You know, there's, what's his face? I think his name's Dave. I don't know. But he has a book out, Getting Things Done. And I read it, and it really inspired me to get things done. A little system and all that. They got apps and all that. But for most things, for me, it comes, it goes. I got shit done. I should make an app or a book called Get Shit Done. Anyway, so I get shit done like that. I'll just be banging out. Like today, my school, we didn't have classes because the kids are doing tests. So I had like nothing to do. I read 3 chapters of a book. Like that. So you just got to figure out what your schedule's like and make it work. I finished BoJack. I binged it. Still got shit done. So I really get upset or annoyed when people tell me they can't make time. Plus, like back in the day, people said they used to listen to me ramble on when they did the dishes or some shit instead of playing in the background. That's a good example of getting shit done, making time, you know? But yeah. Now, I'm enlightened right now, but there was a... What? Sorry. But yeah, yeah, so, I used to be like that, you know. I don't have enough time in a day. Read a lot of books, says, you know, make time. But I met someone who showed me the way of making time. Like she would do prepare the meal on Sunday, prepare everything. And I'd be chilling with her and I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm preparing everything. She puts it in bags and containers. I'm like, why you do that? Just make it on a day, you know? Procrastinating with that. But she did. And then when it came to flying, she would upgrade. And then when you upgrade, it's like a different world. I finally was able to do that this year. I went to Hong Kong, or last year I went to Hong Kong. I used my points. That's another thing. So many people be flying back and forth and they don't got the point cards. Now, if you don't know, you don't know, and I didn't know. But back in the day, someone told me every time you fly, you get points, they build up, and you can do whatever. Now, the typical dude or dudette who happens to live in Japan is gonna go back to the country. So finally, after like living here 10 years, I accumulated enough points where I could have flew home for free. But I decided I'm just gonna pop over to Hong Kong in the summer, and my points paid for all that, which was crazy, right? And I upgraded to business class, which is crazy again, because it's different, man. They're treating me like I was somebody special. When I finished my drink, she's like, do you want more? You know, in regular class, they don't be doing that shit. When you get to the airport early, you're just sitting around wasting time. But business class, first class, they give you like this little lounge to chill in that has free food that you just feed yourself. So now, when you're in this situation, you're not stressed. So your flight is not like rushed and all that. You're just chilling. You make time. I don't know if you follow that guy like that, but what's his face? Will Smith's son? That's where he did his thing where he was rolling down the steps with the Monopoly money. In case you cared. I don't know. What's the movie? The one movie he was in, I forget the movie, but he said something like, in order to be a rebel, you gotta rebel. You know what I'm talking about? It got canceled, it was on Netflix, Nas was associated with it, about the hip hop. It was great, season 1 as always, but season 2, I guess they lost money, lost writers. So I liked him in that. I'll leave it at that. Alright, so 12 minutes, damn, I can talk. But you know what it is? I don't got anyone to talk to. That's what I was thinking. And that's what I remember. Back in the day, would make these rambling videos because I had no one to ramble to. Of course, girlfriends would get rambled on, and they would have to say well, everything's gonna work out in the end. It don't work out in the end. It works, and there's an end, but I don't know if it works out in the end. For example, this is ongoing. So, I was talking to this guy. He's a good friend of mine, a musician, and I was just telling him about, because we meet like every now and then. I was telling him about the happenings of Matt, the photographer. I'm like, yeah. You know, I got this shoot, and I pay these models. He said, you pay them models? I said, yeah, I pay these models. How else am I going to get models? He's like, you shouldn't have to pay. You just ask your friends. And he was really adamant about me paying. In fact, a lot of people I've met, photographers, when you say, yeah, I pay for models, they go, you pay for models? Yo, check this out. This is like weird. What is that? Is that not an RG? Is this not serendipitous? Am I saying the word right? Never used it. Maybe tonight in my freestyle I'm gonna use that word. But yeah. So they're like, you pay the models? Now, I like to pay people what they're worth. I like to pay people for their time. I expect to get paid when I do shit. But more to the point, if I don't pay them, I can't do this. So I sent out my emails asking friends and friends of friends, and it's embarrassing. Not embarrassing, but I don't know. It puts people on the spot. Like, I got people who I asked 2 or 3 years ago if they would model for me. And they said, I'll get back to you. And 2 or 3 years later, they haven't gotten back to me. And that just pisses me off. Say no or say yes. Say some conditions, but they don't say anything. They just ignore me. That's not cool. And we're supposed to be tight like that. Shit, if someone asked me, Matthew, can you model for me? I'd probably say, well, hide my face because I don't want people seeing me. Don't tag me. And what's your idea? Maybe barter something. I need some headshots for my thing. You know, that's how we're supposed to, but I don't get that. So a lot of people didn't respond. Other models, like some are really models, they get paid, and others think they're models. They hit me with, I'll do it, but you gotta pay me like $8 billion. Nah, I'm good. So I got this project. I booked the studio today because I'm still waiting. So maybe on the 23rd, these models like, okay, I can do it. Where we gotta meet? Or on the day of, I got one model who said she's gonna do it. So we'll do something, but I need to book something. But I can't cancel because in Japan, you gotta cancel a month in advance. I don't got that kind of leeway. I'm like day to day with it. But this shit stresses me out because, as I said, it doesn't work out. It works, but it doesn't work out. I just keep pushing forward. Pushing. Forward's like, why you keep pushing me? I'm like, forward because that's what I do. I push. I did a shoot up there once with this, I forget where she's from. She wasn't Japanese. And it was just weird. She was like a little tomboy. Cute and all. And maybe I should cross? I don't know. Alright, we had 16 minutes. I don't know, I'm just rambling. There's so many. Oh, yeah. Okay, this is the last one. So this morning, as I said, I'm reading this book. And this book is I Am Malala. I'm sorry. But trust me, I am reading it. And I just finished reading The Hate You Give, about the 16-year-old girl, black girl. I think it's not a real story, but it's kind of based on shit that's been happening in the States. So a girl, she was with her friend. He happens to sell drugs. The cops happen to roll up, and he happens to get shot. And then they take the cop to court, but he doesn't get indicted. And the streets, the people riot and all that shit. Sounds familiar, right? So I read that, and I posted on Facebook asking people if they would read it with me, and we could discuss it. But honestly, half those people who said they're going to get the book, I don't think they got it yet. And then maybe another percentage, they might have the book, but they don't have time to read it. Okay? I read that shit on the train, man. And then the ones who have read it, I don't know if they're gonna make time to discuss it. But I do know that, I'm pretty sure I could at least get one person to be like, yeah, I read the book, let's talk. Now, I'm reading this new book, I Am Malala. She was a 16-year-old girl in Pakistan, where the Taliban is. I mixed this thing up. I think it's Taliban. Yeah. And in that area, this is like recent, like around 2005. So this is like now. So they're not allowed, girls are not allowed to go to school. They can't learn. They're supposed to sit home and cook. It's kind of fucked up, right? So her father was just like, nah, I want my daughter to be anything she could be. He was just that kind of guy. So then she would speak out. I'm only on chapter 3, so I don't know what's gonna happen. Well, it starts off with she gets shot in the face. Bullet goes right in her eye, comes out her shoulder. That shit's fucked up. But then it starts with that. But then the first 3 chapters are just giving you the background on the history of the country. And then I'm reading it and I'm like contrasting against this backdrop. Because what I noticed, well, what I was thinking is, right, in The Hate You Give, there's this girl, Haley. And Haley, she's white. Haley's like so insensitive to the issues of black people. She lives in a nice area. And then there's this Asian girl who, she gets it, but you know, she's just trying to fit in. And then there's the black girl who is like Will Smith. She lived on the wrong side and her parents sent her to the good side of the city. So she's in a school, she's like, there's only 2 black people there, 3. And she's just trying to do her part. after her friend gets shot, then it's all like, her friends are like, I don't get it. He was a drug dealer. He deserves to die. And then she pops him. So I believe many people would say Haley is such a racist and da-ga-la-la-la. So my theory, or my theory or my hypothesis is, would this, I don't know, the story's just made up, but would she be supportive of Malala? Gotta figure out how to say the name. I should take this light, take the chance. All right, here we go. Going for, I live another day. But yeah, so would she be supportive of her? Because in the story, her friend, the whole time she's like, oh, you go to that bougie school, and then white folks, da 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 da. So it seemed like everything was just kind of in black and white. So I want to read the book to figure out, it's me, but would people be sympathetic to another person's pain in a different country? Because we all know about sweatshops and all the bullshit that goes on in the world, but do we care? And then the second one was, is anger only by proximity? Don't hate me. So people get angry when they see it, but the further away you get from it, which could be time or physical distance, does it bother you anymore? Now, it would be so great if everyone read the book with me, so then we could contrast these two books together. So I posted that on Facebook this morning, and I got nothing. Not a hey, not a ho, not a ha ha ha. It kind of made me sad. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna make a video rambling on YouTube tonight, and that's where we end this, and that's why I'm doing this. So yeah, you wanna make an old man happy, read I Am Malala, and The Hate You Give, and let's like debate that shit. I really hope my lip sync chat, people will talk about that. They'll be like, aren't you that guy that rap? You should know better because you black. Let me stop. Alright, I'm out. This is Shibuya Station. It's hella big, but you won't, well, I guess you could get lost in here, but it's really easy. Anyway, I'm out.